So, hang on just a second, let me just go ahead. So this one's finished, and then, I'm just gonna make a copy, I'm gonna show you how to make a copy. Cause I really wanna copy that and make sure it's a good clean copy before I send it. I'd already sent this PDF for the new Norton textbook. I had sent it to English Technologies, for it to be put on D2L, but I don't think it's up there, and I just wanna make sure that it is. So, okay, so, let's, go back to home. Alright, hang on a second, I'm gonna turn this off. If anything jams up, if it won't work, if it freezes up, just turn it off and turn it back on. Just the button's right there, you just turn it off for a few seconds and it'll
Okay.
do
You
what.
turned it off just now.
So it'd give me to the blank screen, so I want him to record like when you come up and you hit this button,
Okay.
so you know what to look for.
Okay.
Right, because it's gonna take a couple seconds for it to load. And if you're making your PDF, and if it's got, if you're copying a PDF and it's got, like these are pages that were taped onto there, you just gotta be careful that you put it in like this and that it feeds through pretty good.
Okay.
You know? Okay. Alright, so it's loading. I shouldn't have turned it off, but I thought it would give me the blank screen. It's probably not going to. And the 00810 shows up as David Anthony. That's whose name is on the account, but it's just a general English account, so
Okay.
it doesn't matter. And y'all don't have any restrictions on your copies. You can make as many copies as you need to. Okay, all right, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, in order to make a copy of something, you hit the home button, it'll bring up the account ID page,
Yeah.
enter your account code, whatever it is, okay? Then you have this screen. So you wanna go to copy, you wanna load your documents, they're always face up, you can load them sideways like this, I think this works best. Sometimes, if you wanna do it like this, that's fine too, but I usually always do my documents like this, snug it up in there, make sure it's, all contained in that, little tray there, okay? So then, if you wanna come over here, can
Yeah.
you see this? Okay. Alright, so usually it's like you don't have to select the paper all the time, but you might want to. So the paper selection is usually 3. It's automatic, which 3 is 8.5 by 11 letter size. If you've got legal size or something larger, then you can select that, okay? So you usually just leave it at auto, okay? The zoom, if you want it to zoom out or in or whatever, you can change the zoom. The density is how dark it's going to print. You can just leave that alone. Very seldom do you need to darken something up. You might need to lighten something, okay? You can select if it's going to be one-sided. If you want every page to be one-sided, you leave it at one-sided. If you have a one-sided copy, but you want it to be double-sided, then you select one-sided to two-sided. If it's already two-sided, but you want it copied one-sided, then you select two-sided to one-sided. If it's already double-sided and you want to keep it double-sided, then you select that, okay? Then there's other things that you can do too with it, but if it's a book one-sided, you don't usually have to worry with that. So it's okay. So then this button here, the combine button, is if you want, if you wanted 2 of these pages on one sheet, then you would combine them.
Okay.
Very seldom do that.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So back to quick. Hold on. Oh, if you want it stapled, you can have one staple. It'll come, if we're running them this way, it's going to have the staple up here in the top left corner, right? So I don't want to staple this, but usually if you're stapling something, it's not going to be landscape. You're going to be, usually whatever you're going to be printing is going to be straight up like this. So when you feed it in there, it's going to staple right here. And it's a whole lot easier to let the machine staple it for you than to run 20 copies and you have to
Yeah.
staple them yourself. So take advantage of what the machine can do for you. Set it up, choose to select the staple. If you don't want it, then it's off, okay? There's other things you can do. The original forms, this is if you want to collate and offset each set, like if you're running 10 copies of 5 pages, if you offset them, if you're not stapling, if you're just, you can offset, and that means that each copy you get is going to be up a little bit. Like when we did the PSW notebooks, everything was offset.
Yeah.
So your set's here, your next one's a little bit higher.
Did you copy the PSW notebooks here?
Yes, yes. Okay, so everything's fine there. There's your staple. There's the paper output. That just, it goes to Tracy. You don't have to ever worry about that. Mostly what you're going to do is you're just gonna come here to copy. You're gonna put it in there. You already know it's automatically, it's gonna be portrait or whatever it's gonna copy. If you want staples, you add staples. If you don't want a double side, you don't have to go through anything else. You just put in the number of copies that you want. I've got one, you can do, I don't know, 999 copies. If you're copying multiple pages of something, multiple copies of a document, always run the first test copy, especially if you're going to double side and staple. Always run a sample copy, see how it's going to look. Make sure the staple's where you want it, that the pages are laying out correctly, you know, it's going to work. Okay, so then you can go ahead and copy. What you also can do, there's a button here that says preview, right? So if you're, like with this document where those, I taped on the front page of this book, because it's our new Norton Field Guide to Writing, it's a new edition, where I taped that on there, you can preview, and what that's going to do is it's going to go ahead and scan everything through that you're wanting to copy, and then it's going to come out here on this screen, right here, and then you can ask for details. And it's going to show you just how that's going to look whenever it's printed, okay? If you're making a PDF, if you're copying something out of a book, and you want to make sure you're getting all the edges of the book and all the information, preview is the thing to use, because then you'll be able to see what it's going to look like whenever it comes out. And this is a rather large document. I usually just preview one page at a time, right? Anyway, with the preview, once it scans it and you look at it, if you like what it looks like and it's going to be fine, then you just hit close and then you hit start. And once you hit start, after it finishes scanning, once you hit start, it copies everything for you. So you don't have to do anything else. All right. See the memories flashing here? Press start key to start printing. I hit start, but it was still scanning, so it kind of didn't quite catch it there. So then your copies come out over here on this side. If you're copying multiple pages of multiple documents, you don't want to let it get too high of a stack, because then it'll start bumping it and it'll jam up the copier, okay? And then you'll have to clear the copy. You have to clear the jam, okay? Now, you want to do another video on how to clear jam.